everybody, welcome to West Virginia. My name is Cheryl and this is my channel, Tranquil Stitches. Today is Tuesday, February 1st, 2022, and this is my FlossTube episode number 133. I hope everyone's having a good day. It's already February 1st, if you can believe it. We are heading into the love month, right? It's Valentine's month, but already February. It's dead of winter here. Lots of cold, frigid nights and cold days. Lots of dog water freezing in the bowl. And yeah, it's pretty cold out there, but it's winter. You know, that's, my sister complains in the winter. She says, I hate this cold. I hate this cold. And I said, well, you're not allowed to say a word in the summertime when I'm complaining, because I don't mind this, but I hate being too hot. So we take turns. Y'all, my hair, the static is for real. I'm serious. My hair, I feel like taking a dryer sheet and just rubbing it all over my head. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. Is anybody else having a problem with static? It's crazy. So, what have I been up to this past week and a few days? Because I wanted to wait till today so I could do a January wrap-up and tell you what all I got accomplished in January and document that for myself. But I have been stitching quite a bit, and I'm pretty happy with my progress so far. I doubt very seriously I'll be able to keep this pace up, but it was fun. It was fun, and but we'll see. I mean, you know, we'll see. I have been spending a lot of time hibernating. I've been stitching and diamond painting and playing with my journals and playing with my planners, and just a lot of just drinking tea and decaf coffee in the evenings, lots of soups and stews, roasts, things like that, you know, just comfort food, and just, you know, just enjoying winter. But I have been stitching, and I have 3 finishes to show you since I last visited with you. I have a new start that you've not seen that I started in January. I have a couple whips that don't fall into that category. I have a favorite find to share with you. I have a couple charts that I bought recently, and some plans, just little tiny life update. Not much, you know, going on here, but I have to tell you a story about something that happened. My first thing I want to do is, my son brought this to me the last time he was home. It's Anne Hathaway's house in Warwickshire, England. It's an Ivortex, which means it's they make a mold out of clay, and then they pour plaster into it to make these relief plaster. If you can tell, it's like standing out from the, you know, from the background. A lot of you have seen these. Then they dip it in paraffin wax and then hand paint it, which I find fascinating. I just find that fascinating. The curious thing is they misspelled her name, because her name is spelled with an E on the end. It's A-N-N-E. Anne Hathaway was William Shakespeare's wife, and this is the house that she grew up in. It was just a little 3-room house when she was born, and then they put the upstairs on and the addition. This is a place that you can visit and tour, which I think is wonderful. Look at these little people standing here. I wonder if that's supposed to be Shakespeare and Anne, or if this is Anne. I'm not really sure. Little dog. But it's just a lot of fun. See how it's raised? It is stamped on the back. This says, and this is what I'm thinking. This I can pretty confidently date to World War II, around that time, because the stamp on the back says, due to the labor shortage, makes it impossible to devote the proper attention to the final polishing of this item. you know, there was a labor shortage in during World War II. These were manufactured during the Second World War, and then up, you know, a little later before, you know, several companies were making them. But, and this house was built in 1463, the original 3-room house, and Anne was born in 1556. So, and that's where she grew up. That's where William courted her. I thought that was really cool. A little piece of vintage. It's really pretty. And you can feel the wax on it. You know, a lot of it's rubbed off over the years because it's so old, but it still has the wire bail to hang it with. And it's pre-marked 89 cents. Just a cool little thing. So I'm happy that he brought that to me. I was tickled to death. So let's share some stitching here. Like I said, I have 3 finishes. And I didn't bring my little board over here. The first one I finished was my New Year, New Start. I started this on January 1st. This is a free pattern from Heartstring Samplery from back in 2012. And it's available on her blog. I will link the blog post below that contains this chart. I had a lot of fun stitching this. The colors were just amazing. I did use the call for colors, and I did change it up a little bit. I put, well, I'll explain it. But here is my finish. I just think it turned out beautifully. She had a row of like 5 or 6 initials down here, like 2, like not the middle initial, just the 2 initials of herself and some friends, she said. I don't know if it was her husband too, but what I did was I put my husband's initials and my initials, and then I put a little button on both sides, like a vintage button. But, and I made those red. They're called for the same colors here, so it all kind of blended together, but I wanted that, you know, I wanted some more red. But that's my first finish of 2022. It has 1,564 stitches all told. So I started it and finished it this month. No, January. My second finish, I am doing all 12, I'm doing all 6 Easter wishes from Blue Ribbon Designs and all 6 Valentine wishes this year. I started with Easter so that I could have Valentine's this month. I'm alternating. So here's my finish of Grace. This is the first one that I've done this year. I started it on January 1st and finished it. And this one has 1,489 stitches. I think it's cute. Those swans are really pretty. My third finish for the month is Frosty Night by New York Dreamer Designs. I started this one last year for March Mayhem, I do believe. My husband picked out, that was when he was picking out the ones that I was going to start, and he picked this one. It's was called for Whip Go in January, so it was a focus piece for me, and I finished it. It's really cute. I used my own colors, and I think that this would look absolutely adorable with blue, like a blue scarf and a blue star in his body. But I think a blue would be pretty too. You could really use any color. It's a wintry design. I just love those birds. But I did use my own colors. This is a Stormy Night from Zweigart, Belfast. So in this one, this month, I put 1,422 stitches in it. And it has 1,885 stitches total. Now that's what I've counted, so plus or minus human error. So that's Frosty Night. The new start that I have started that you haven't seen is my temperature chart. I'm doing this one from Stitchin' Mommy. I will link her Etsy shop below. She has lots and lots of different temperature charts, but I am doing this one just purely for fun. It's just, I just want to see it, and it's a lot of fun to stitch, so I may do another one just to compare and see how it differs. But this is so highly customizable. You can use, she's got warm climate colors. She's got a kind of mid range, which is what we are. We go from anywhere from 100 down to 0. And then she has the colder climates that you can choose. If your temperature, if you're somewhere where it never gets above a certain temperature, then it'll fit. The colors are DMC, and it's easy. Okay, so I started out writing the temperature down when the month started. I would check my weather app, and I would try to catch the high temperature before it started falling off for the day. And a lot of times I didn't do that. So the ones that I had written down like the first 6 or 7 days. She recommends that you use the site AccuWeather, and you can put your zip code in there, find your little town, find your town or city, and you can choose monthly. It'll show you the month that you're in and the highs for every day. I think I went to that site and I looked at it, and the temperatures were within 1 or 2 degrees of where I was anyway, what I had documented. So I tested the accuracy, and I felt comfortable with that accuracy on that site. So that's what I use. And I'll just wait, a couple, 3 days, and then I'll stitch the stripes in, and then I'll wait a couple days. If it's in the same range, you just make the stripe wider. So this is my January, except for the Y, because I still have the last 3 days. And, I couldn't stitch 31st until I knew what the temperature was. So I'll be finishing January up and starting February. And I messed up, of course. This is supposed to be centered, because September is obviously a longer word, and November is a longer word than this. This is supposed to be over here a little bit, and then, they kind of, like when you're aligning something on Word, a center align. That's what it's supposed to be. But I didn't do that. I just started January on the margin over there. So I'm just going to put them in a row. I'm just going to put February right under the January, because obviously I've got more room over here now. So February is going to come a little bit further over here, and then September is going to be over here. So I'm still going to be okay. But look at that January 1st. We're 68 degrees on January 1st. And then it was just downhill from there. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I showed it to my kids. They were really interested in it. And I'm just, like I said, purely, this is 14 count Aida white. I had a bolt of this, and I just cut a piece off of it, and it's just for fun. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm always anxious to see what the temperature was, and then I'll look at the color and, oh, that's going to look really good. But I'm anxious to, get to the reds in the summer and the, the different colors. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So like I said, I'll link her Etsy shop below. She's got like several different, varieties of temperature charts, not just the words. She's got all kinds of different ways. And like I said, that is 432 stitches. So that's not much at all. You can catch up at this point, because that's not much at all to stitch. So, over a month's time. And it's like anywhere from like 8 to, well, 9 to maybe 12, 15 stitches a day. It's not much. Okay, I'll move on to whips now. I have Witch's Hollow from Primitive Needle. This is part of my Bap Attack, the only piece that I had left to work on for the month since I saw you last. So I brought it out. I brought it out last because Bap Attack goal for the 5th BAP that I work on, the alternate, is only 250 stitches. So I brought it out at the end of the month so that I could just stitch until I didn't want to stitch anymore. And that's what I did. So I got in, here's where it was. I'll show you that. And I got in this one 639 stitches. So I more than met my goal. And here's where it is. It is on Whip Go for 2,000 stitches for the year. But I got 639 of them so far. And I did the pumpkin. I finished the E and the S. And I did the pumpkin. It just cracks me up. I am using the Call For. It's mostly all week Style Works. There are a couple Gentle Arts in it. But it's going to be it's a big project. But I just have, and this is a 36 count fog from Picture This Plus, and I'm doing it 1/2. This is cute, and even on 36 count, it's pretty big. So that's the first whip, and the second one, I brought back out Threadneedle Street. This was called on Whip Go for January. I met my goal on it, was 1,000 stitches. And I had really wanted to get the roof on the house. I'll show you where it was. And I really wanted to get the roof on the house because this one is more than likely going to be on my Whip Go next year for a finish. So I wanted to get a little further on with it before, you know, so that I wouldn't be struggling next year to get it done during the month it's called. I may pull this out a couple more times this year. I mean, it's met its goal, so it can go away, but, you know, I like working on it. I'm using a 36 count ancient coin from Black Cauldron Stitchery, and I love it. It's just beautiful. So here is my progress. See if you can see that model. Yeah, look at there. It is so pretty. I wanted to, you know, I've got plenty of it down here because there's a plaid border down here, but I'm not going to do that. So that's as far down as it's going to go. But I was afraid to cut it yet because I want it, you know, I want to still get it on the Q-snap. So I may not cut it till later. But I did get the roof on. I had the frog. I had all this done, and a couple more letters here. It was in the wrong place, so I had to frog all that. I had to frog the smoke, and what it was, I forgot the last row of stitches on the roof. So I had to go back, put that back on. So my chimneys are off and my smoke is off. It's okay though, it's going to work. But you know, I counted my frog stitches too. So I got an additional 498 in this one, more than I had planned. So I was happy with that. Oh, and I got the little spool. Look how cute the little fence is. So I brought Threadneedle Street back out. That has been my stitching since I saw you last time. January wrap up. I started with, goodness, let's see. I started with 25 whips. I had 6 new starts. I had 3 finishes. And so I'm ending with 28 whips. And for the month of January, I forgot to write this down, 12,534 stitches. And that averages 404 a day. So that was really good. I met my goal on my Whip Go. I put that. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, I met my goal. 3 goals on Whip Go. I got Threadneedle Street. My goal was 1,000. I got that done, and I got my New Year New Start, which was on there. I got it done, and Frosty Night, I finished it. It was on there for a finish, and so was the New Year New Start, because I knew I was starting that, and I was wanting to get it finished before the year ended. So, and what I did was I just cut out some. I used a 1-inch punch, and cut out some circles from scrapbook paper, and I'm just gluing them on there and make it pretty, you know. So I'm off to a good start. I've got 3 blocks already, and that's not even including the free space, which I used for a new start. So yeah, happy with that. Okay. That is that. What's next on the handy dandy list? Bingo. I'm going to draw 3 words. If you're playing, good luck. Somebody ought to be getting close. I know it's been wonky, I know, and that's my fault. I own that completely. So the first one is number 38, Hands Across the Sea, Samplers. 38, Hands Across the Sea. The next one is, what we have? 39, Frog Cottage. Now, she is a relatively new designer, but she's got some really cute little things if you've not checked her out yet. 39, Frog Cottage. And, well, new to me. I'm not really sure how long she's been designing, but she's new to me. I'll put it that way, because, you know, I could very well be wrong about that. And then the last one is number 40, KEB Studio Creations. KEB Studio Creations. She has a floss tube. I will link her below. Karen and, oh, I know his name. Jason. So, number 40, KEB Studio Creations. She's actually been published in just cross stitch, I do believe. Number 38, Hands Across the Sea Samplers. And number 39, Frog Cottage. So, good luck to everyone who is playing, and like I said, I do apologize because it's been wonky this time, but I've been wonky. I've been wonky. Okay. Since I finished the New York Dreamers Frosty Night, I'd like to share this chart with somebody. So if you are interested in this chart, it's from 2013. It's gently used, you know, because I just finished it. If you're interested in this chart, just comment below what whatever yesterday is for you, what yesterday's temperature was where you are. High temperature. So if you need to go to AccuWeather, go check that out there. Or if you remember, you know. So if you would like to be entered into the drawing, put the word temperature so I can sort that, and what temperature it was where you are, whatever yesterday was for you. I'm anxious to see how the temperatures vary. So that will be the giveaway in the next FlossTube, which should be in a week. I'll do a vlog this week coming up. Okay. I'd like to thank Tracy for the thank you. She sent me this beautiful little thank you card. Seeds for your garden. And she wrote me a wonderful little note in here. She won one of my Thanksgiving giveaways. I do. No, it was the Fat Quarter Shop giveaway. One of them. So I'll be using that in my journal. It looks it's very pretty. I'm pretty sure she no, she made that card. She made that. So thank you. Thank you very much, Tracy. I appreciate that. Okay. What I got? I lost my place. Okay. I have a couple charts here that I bought recently, and I wanted to share them with you. I got this one. I got these from 123 Stitch. This is Bushel and a Peck from La Di Da. And I grew up having that said to me and saying that to my family. I love you, bushel and a peck. My family said, bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck. What you do, what you do, what you do. So I might try to tweak that a little bit, but a bushel and a peck. Isn't that pretty? I love that. And I have the You Are My Sunshine. So the things that I've said to my children, if I can find those in cross stitch, I think that's great. And I'll be doing those up. And this one is on my Project 22 for this year. This is Holy Night at Haxby Abbey. And I could have sworn that was Huxby, but it's Haxby. This is by Twin Peak Primitives. Isn't that gorgeous? Look. Oh my gosh. I'll be using the called for, and I'm not really sure that fog would be pretty, wouldn't it? That it would be pretty on that fog, I think. I think I might have some more of that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I fell in love with that immediately when I saw it, and I was like, I gotta have it. I got it, well, I ordered it in December, which, you know, my rule, if I get it, I can't stitch anything the year I get the pattern in. That keeps me accountable for some of my older charts, you know, but I did order this in December, so I'm counting it, and I put it on my Project 22 because I knew that I knew it was eligible, and I'm going to stitch it. I'm going to start it and stitch it. Isn't that pretty? So those are a couple charts that I got that I wanted to share with you. Plants. I would like to send you over to my friend Hillary. Hillary has a floss tube. She had a floss tube back a couple years ago, and I watched her Rustic Threads stitching. And like I said, I will link her below. It's Rustic Threads Stitching. She is a beautiful, beautiful lady. She's beautiful on the outside. She's beautiful on the inside. She's very soft-spoken. She's very comfortable to visit with. She's just a sweetheart. Well, she took a break from FlossTube, and she recently came back a couple months ago. And she reached out and said that she had an idea, and she wanted to know what I thought about it. And she reached out to several people, and I think it's adorable. So, and you can take part 2. You can take part 2. Okay, her idea. It's called #StitchKitPass. Stitch Kit Pass. It reminds me of the football punt pass kick, I think, where like the all-stars of the teams, you know, have the competition where they see who can punt the farthest, pass the farthest, and kick the farthest. It's just like a celebrity type thing that they do. But that's what it reminds me of. I don't know if that was her inspiration or what. But it's Stitch Kit Pass. And that's what you would do if you want to participate. She's got a hashtag set up. And what it is you will stitch an ornament. And you can use one you've already stitched if you want to. Stitch an ornament, kit that ornament back up, and pass it along to somebody. And then they will stitch it using what you used to kit it up with, re-kit it. They can change the colors. They can, change the fabric, any little tweaks, or use the call for. That would work as well. And re-kit it and then pass it along. Can you even? I mean, it is such a cute idea. And she sent me the one she just finished. She kitted it up. I have it. I'm going to stitch it on what she sent me. It's already fully kitted. When I finish it, I'm going to kit it back up and I'm going to pass it on. And so on and so forth. So if she can get a lot of participation in this, then just imagine all of the kits that would be going around to, different people. So this is the one, and she knows me and Homespun Elegance go way back. I love Sandra's stuff. This is the 2008 ABC Noel House from Homespun Elegance from Sandra. Isn't that pretty? Now she chose not to stitch this part, and I'm going to follow suit because this is not really. I like this here, so I'll be doing the same thing. But now when I kit it up, I'll kit it like somebody's going to do this, because they may want to do it. Isn't that pretty? Now she changed the colors up. She sent me this gorgeous fabric. It's washing out. It's darker. Yeah. And here's the colors that she sent me. And what she did was she made a little card, and she, put the floss on there and put the symbols so I would know, which color to use. And that's what she put, some blue in there. And, the pattern doesn't have any blue. They use blue fabric, but she put blue in there, and she said she's anxious to see what it looks like with blue, just like I said with that Frosty Night, it would be cute with blue. So, you can change it up, but that's what she did. And as I'm stitching it, maybe I'll get inspiration of something I'd like to see, some way I'd like to see it done for the next person. She also signed the inside cover with her name and the date and where she's from, and I'll be putting my name under hers and sending it on. So I just flashed the whole pattern. I had to redo that. But yeah, such a cute idea. I'm going to link her FlossTube down below. I'll link the actual video of where she explains Stitch Kit Pass so that you can listen to, her idea and you can participate. Like I said, if you've recently stitched an ornament and you still have the chart, kit it back up and send it on out, And, if you feel like you need to ask somebody, you may say, well, draft somebody, right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draft my friend. I'm going to say, yeah, you have to stitch it now. I kitted it up for you. But you don't, if you know somebody well enough to do that. But if you're not sure, you might want to ask first and make sure that they have the time and they want to put the effort towards doing, participating. I plan to start that ornament and get that done, kit it up, and send it on. Whip Go for this month, she called number 5, which corresponds to Easter Tree for me. Another Mayhem start from last year. And this is from Autumn Lane Stitchery. Isn't it pretty? I'm so anxious to get into those colors. I'm stitching it on a blue like sky fabric. Now my goal on that one's 1,000 stitches, so hopefully by the end of the month I'll have that done. And she also called number 17, Witches Hollow. Isn't that something? So my goal on that one, like I said, is 2,000 stitches. I'm not sure that I'll go ahead and finish that up if I get all 2,000 stitches, because sometimes I get started on, and they're little bits of instant gratification. Those little tiny motifs, I can finish one up and then I might want to do another, I might get the whole 2,000, but I'm still going to pick it up 3 more times this year and get some more progress in it. So it works out. My project 22, she drew, the number 5 corresponds to the drawn thread, the Good Neighbor. So I'll be starting that one on the 5th. Isn't that pretty? And I love it. I have loved it. I've had that in my stash for forever. So I plan to start that one. And the number 17 is Sarah Hook from Carriage House Samplings. So I will be starting her on the 17th. And she's beautiful. I love the Tombstone Angels. I love that, and I'm anxious to get her started too. I haven't kitted up my Project 22 pieces. I kit them up, right before I start them. So I'm not really sure what I'll do with her, if I'll make any changes or just, I'm pretty sure it just calls for DMC. So I may just do that. I don't know. And I'll also today be starting my new Blue Ribbon Designs Valentine Wishes. And this is Love. And I just find it appropriate, So I'll be stitching this one this month. And the goal on that one's to get a finish. My BAP Attack pieces for February, I'll be working on those. Village of Hawk Run, Anniversaries of the Heart, Elizabeth Weston, Quaker Christmas 2, and this month will be With the Needle 2 from Lila Studio. That's the alternate, and all of the first 4 will get 500 stitches at least. and then with the needle too, we'll get at least 250. And I'll probably wait till the end of the month and just, you know, stitch until I don't want to stitch on it anymore. I'll also be stitching the Vintage Housewife Sal from Fat Quarter Shop. I'll be stitching the February block and working on my temperature chart. So lots and lots of plans, and it's you know, my plans monthly are pretty aggressive. You know, I mean, I really, I'm pushing myself. So but it's a lot of fun, and it's motivation for me. I don't have to do any of that, but when I do, it's a feeling of accomplishment, and it's motivation for me to get some things, you know, progress on some things. A lot of people have asked me, what do you do? When do you finish your projects? When do you? I am not a product stitcher. I'm a process stitcher. I stitch for the journey, not the finish. I'm not one to decorate my house with cross stitch. You know, I've said this so many times. I'm not that person. I don't decorate with a lot of things framed, a lot of little pillows sitting around, a lot of, you know, things. I don't. I'm not in any way a minimalist, but I don't like. When I grew up, my mother had stuff everywhere. She had stuff everywhere, and when I got out on my own, that's the way I started my life. And the older I get, it's just like I want space. I want things just, you know, just not cluttered, you know. And I'm not calling it clutter. I'm not, please don't think that I'm calling it clutter. It's, you know, but I don't want a ton of things, you know, sitting around because it makes me anxious. So, you know, I'd stitch for the fun of it, for the pure fun of it. I told my children that when the time comes, they can pick what they want, and anything else, you know, just put it on eBay or whatever at the time, you know, there is, or, you know, donate it for raffles or, you know, whatever. You know, there are special pieces. There are pieces with my initials on it, like the New Year's sampler. I mean the New Year Auld Lang Syne. You know, that's different. They'll probably want to keep that because it has initials on it. But you know, the things that are just benign, that I just stitch, you know, just to be stitching. Sophie, get down from there. They can do with it what they want, you know. I used to have a totally different attitude about that, but I have really changed the way I think about a lot of things lately. So, yeah, I'm not. I'm a absolute journey stitcher. Just like the diamond paintings. I have no plans for those. I just like doing it. You know, I like spending my time doing it, and I like looking at the finished product, but I don't need it to look at every day. I just don't. So that's that. If you've asked how I count my stitches, I have a couple videos. I'll link one of them, the most recent one, below. You can, you know, watch that if you'd like. And you know, it's a short video and explains how I count my stitches. Everybody's different. Everybody does it a different way. So feel free to watch that. And I know there are more questions. I know there are more comments that I wanted to address, but I didn't take the time today to write them down. So you know, maybe in my vlog, I'll look through them and address, you know, one or two a week. But you know, that's just me. You know, everybody's different. But I wanted to tell you right quick, and then I'll let you go. We got our new refrigerator, and my husband went to pick it up, and he got a buddy to help him, and his son was here that weekend. So the three of them, and they are trying to get the refrigerator through the door, and they're like, well, how'd you get this one in? You know, because it was actually bigger than the one we bought. We don't need a big refrigerator. There's just two of us here, and then we've got a refrigerator, you know, in the other house. So my husband remembered that he actually had to take the doors off the refrigerator to get it in the house. So they were trying to figure out how to get the doors off of the old one. And it took an Allen wrench. All the furniture that we've had delivered for as long as I can remember comes with an Allen wrench, right? You got to put it together with an Allen wrench. Toys, just about everything that you order that you need to assemble comes with an Allen wrench, you know. I was looking all through the drawers, all through every drawer in the house. I thought, I know we've got Allen wrenches. Couldn't find any. My husband was looking in the toolbox, the tool bag, that, you know, everything. He went under the house in the basement, looked, couldn't find any. And my husband has relocated all of his tools. There's a building up at the other house, and they're all in the building. So he said, well, I guess we're going to have to go up there and get an Allen wrench. And after I finished looking for the Allen wrench, I came in and sat down, and I pulled up YouTube because I was waiting on the video to come up, Talia. So I was waiting on a video to come up, and I checked YouTube, and I'll be darned if the Babylon Bee did not post this. It hit right during that. It showed up on my feed right during that whole Allen wrench kerfuffle. I am telling you what's the truth. I went in there, and when the guys got back, I went in there and I said, I want y'all to look at this. You tell me somebody's not watching us through the phone. That's kind of what it felt like. You know how when you look at toasters on Amazon, next thing you know, Facebook, toaster ads, YouTube, toaster ads, you know, that's kind of, but this was just a little too far out there because it came from the Babylon Bee, not an ad, you know. Isn't that funny? I was just like, it's like, where's the camera? Where's it at? You know, but that was an experience, you know. Coincidence. It's like if you haven't heard a song in years, literally years, you haven't heard, next thing you know, you hear that song everywhere you go. You hear it once and it's like all over the place, and you hadn't heard it in years. It's just crazy how things, you know, coincidences work like that. But anyway, I've kept you long enough. I hope, like I said, you're having a good day. I hope you're getting a lot of stitching in. I hope if you're hibernating, you're enjoying yourself. And until I see you next week, happy stitching.